Daniel Kaelin's rise continues. 24/7 has updated Daniel Kaelin to a 4-star. Why am I telling you that? Because it's pushed him up in the On3 industry rankings. He is now a 4-star quarterback, fresh off making the final Elite 11 earlier in the month of June. Now, you're asking, why does On3 have Daniel Kaelin ranked so low still? Because he's 43rd best quarterback. They are doing the rankings update as we speak. So there is going to be a refresh and an update of the rankings. I would expect Daniel Kaelin on 3 as well to make a bump. And, it wouldn't surprise me if that overall industry ranking score, which is 89.14, is in the 90s, like a low 90 point something.
Oh, wow.
Which, will that push him up to number 2 in the state?
Yeah.
Right now in the industry rankings, he's now number 3. I think there's a pretty good chance it's going to go Carter Nelson, Daniel Kaelin, 1, 2 in the next round of updated in-state rankings.
Daniel Kaelin has it all laid out for him right now. He's on a good team at Bellevue West. He's got his senior season ahead. He's thrown to Davon Hall and Isaiah McMorris, Jermaine Green. They got other
Caprice Keith.
Yeah, they got other receivers besides those guys. He's in a air raid offense, Sean.
Sorry, Matt Moore. We had Coach Huffman. I had a pretty good debate with your old assistant coach, Matt Moore, when Sipple refers to your offense as the air raid.
Daniel Kaelin refers to it as the air raid, and so does Michael Huffman. But anyway, it's all set out for him. And last year he was excellent. Last year, 36 TDs, only 7 picks. 5 of those picks were in the first 3 games, so he knocked that off. 63% passer. He's got all those guys we mentioned. The only thing he doesn't really have is a fancy first name. I wonder if he'd be, humor me for a second, would he be higher in the rankings if his name was Air Kaelin, like Air Noland? Air Noland, who's the 4th rated quarterback in the country in the class of 24, or would he be a higher rated quarterback if his name was Cutter Kaelin? How about Cutter Kaelin? There's a guy from
Gunner.
Yeah, Cutter Boley. Cutter Boley's the 10th rated quarterback in the class of 24. Yeah, Easton Kaelin. But think about Cutter Kaelin. That would sound beautiful. They call him Danny Dimes, so that's pretty good. But yeah, Sean, what he did in going out to Redondo Beach in that Elite 11 and winning the accuracy competition and showing himself so well, that means something. I mean, it certainly means something. You know what? I think it means a lot for outside confidence in Daniel Kaelin. He was already confident.
When you think about what he's walking into at Nebraska, Jeff Sims could be here 2 years, 1 year. We don't know. But Daniel Kaelin, with where Chuba Purdy is and Heinrich Harberger is on their age, like he could easily come in and be a 3-year guy at Nebraska.
A 3-year starter?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got to prove himself.
He's got to prove. I'm not handing him the job. I'm not trying to do that.
Himself.
But the opportunity is there for him to come in.
It's all laid out.
And be a 3-year guy. He knows it, and he's acting like that. And I think when we look at Daniel Kaelin, if it all works out, we're going to go back to what he meant to Matt Rule by jumping ship on Missouri or decommitting.
Yeah, May 20th.
To come to Nebraska after they had, because I was thinking about this, about Daniel Kaelin and Dylan Raiola. Their history goes all the way back to when they were freshmen.
Yeah.
Mario Verduzco offered Kaelin first. And there was a little friction on that previous staff because Scott Frost didn't know about it. It's an in-state guy. He's an in-state quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little, I don't want to say upset about it, but they didn't really look at him as a guy they wanted. Then Raiola came in and worked out in front of them while Kaelin was there on that same day.
Friday Night Lights
camp. Yeah. And then they kind of shoved Daniel back, and it was all in at Raiola at that point, all the way until May of 2023 when that turned around. And you're seeing how important it is to have a guy that wants to be here leading this class. I'm not saying Dylan Raiola didn't want to be here, but it wasn't the right time for him to be at Nebraska.
Well, it worked out.
It worked out great.
It worked out. I mean, this is a quarterback in Daniel Kaelin who's wanted to be a Husker since he was in junior high, and he takes the peer recruiting part seriously. And people are going to say, well, of course he does. Well, first of all, not all quarterbacks take it as seriously as others, and second of all, not all quarterbacks are as good at it as others. I think Daniel helped this class. I don't think that Carter Nelson jumped in the class because of Daniel Kaelin, but it was a factor. I mean, I think it's a factor in getting Davon Hall and Isaiah McMorris. I don't know. I'm not saying it's the factor, but it's a factor. And Daniel Kaelin has told us, Sean, he treats that part of his role, the peer recruiter part, is like a part-time job, which is, I mean, that's, you got to, I think there's a lot of social media involved in that, right? I mean, you got to sit down and do it. You know, you can't talk about it. You got to sit down and do it.
Well, and he's well known around the country. I mean, he plays in high level 7-on-7 circles and events. So he knows a lot of players too. Yeah, Dylan Raiola had a lot of cachet, but I think as the days go on, Daniel Kaelin continues to gain more and more. I would expect the other services, whether it's ESPN, On3, or Rivals, to follow suit. And I don't know if everybody will have him as a 4-star. I don't want to make that prediction, but I think he will gain more 4-star rankings from the other services here, especially with the big senior season.
Yeah, especially if his name was Cutter Kaelin.
I like Gunner.
Yeah, Gunner Kaelin would be good. That'd be good.
Steven.
No, that wouldn't do it. He might as well just be Daniel.